Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and trying to come to life. Please tell me you've had this song on your mind, or your brain, whatever it's called, ever since watching this film. I have, and it's amazing. Howdy feminists! Have you seen the film of February? I have. Here are my thoughts. In case you did not notice yet, it was suggested to me that I put a question for the movie so we can all watch it with a purpose, if you will. This month's question was suggested by one of you, and it is the "Does being feminist mean being anti-men in this film?" So my review here will focus on this, and I do hope you will join in on the conversation below in the comments, or perhaps even better, post a review yourself. You can as a member, and in my opinion you totally should, post stuff here. I'm the only one doing it, but remember, this is a space for us all to talk and share thoughts about the films we see, and I would so love it if the club would turn into a place where you too give insights and thoughts. That is my hope anyways. Okay, so does being feminist mean being anti-men in this film? I don't think so, and here's why. This film came out in 1980 and it has a lot of the themes from the 70s feminist movement in it, such as gender roles, gender identity and inequality matters that were discussed in the open. In many ways, I think this movie is a wonderful and fun way to showcase the absurdity of gender roles, and I think the film does it in a way where even those who may not have agreed with these can watch it and actually learn something. A great example of this is the scene where Dolly Parton plays out her fantasy of what she'd like to do with their horrible sexist boss. In her fantasy, the gender roles are turned around. She, the woman, is the sexist boss who is taking advantage of her worker. This scene, to me, is a great example of what gender means. Gender is not sex. Gender is the relation between people that has its roots in power dynamics. Gender is how we use and understand this power between us. So by turning it around, by having the woman call the man a boy instead of a man, by her gifting him a tie and forcing him to put it on, by her having him twirl in front of her so she can look at his bum, we are seeing the absurdity of something that is and was happening to the other gender on an everyday basis. I think humour is a great tool to use when one wants to portray inequality. By including this scene, which I honestly find quite bold when one considers they filmed it in the late 70s, they are making something that is usually glossed over extremely obvious. And I think that can have the potential to make people stop and think, why are we, the women, treated like this? And why are we, the men, treating other people like this? Another aspect to this film I quite enjoyed was the development of the Judy character played by Jane Fonda. I think we have a great example of how we can lift each other up. She starts her job being extremely insecure and afraid of everything, having just been divorced in a world where women were still struggling to make the shift between not having the proper opportunity within the professional workplace and their roles as wives and potentially mothers within the homes. And then, as we see her blossom from the help of her fellow women, she is eventually able to tell her ex-husband to fuck off with his pathetic desire to return back to her as if he did nothing wrong. Violet, played by Lily Tomlin, is another great character in this film. She stands up for herself to the boss when he doesn't promote her, something I think many of us can benefit from channeling from time to time, since statistically, women have a harder time speaking up against authorities. So, does this movie showcase a general hate towards men? Is it anti-men? Not in my opinion. It is rather showing how the patriarchy is awful and everyone is a victim within it, even the horrible boss. These women do not hate men. They hate this man, their boss. They do not want to hunt all men. They want to hunt the man who is a system, a bureaucrat, a stickler, a sexist. And that is something I think one must always aspire to do, help the people who are suffering within such a system. Saying no to people who act like this boss does. By sticking together we can do it, and by adding our own wisdom to the pot, we can achieve more in life, such as the women do with the daycare and the part-time jobs and all. I give this movie a 10 out of 10. I honestly think it has so many great things to it and is a great teaching moment for all feminists. Also, those who may disagree with my point of view on this film. What do you rate it? And how did you find this movie? Take care until next month. The Coven has still not decided which film we are watching, and if you'd like to help them do that, then become a member by clicking the link below this video. It only costs you €3 or dollars a month, and you get fun stuff and help me out. Bye now. 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Getting by, it's all taking and no giving. They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you lie. 9 to 5, for service and devotion. You would think that I would deserve a fair promotion. Move ahead, but the boss won't seem to let me. Swear sometimes that man is so together.